Okay, so if you have a 401k or a pension or some other similar type of retirement account, most people know that you can't take that account and give a portion of that to another person without incurring taxes and penalties and things like that. So if you, let's say you have a $100,000 401k through your employer, you can't just take 50,000 of that and give it to your kid and walk away where you each have the money and you don't have to pay taxes and things like that. You also can't transfer your 401k or your pension or whatever to a trust. These are just some of the basic concepts of those types of retirement accounts. So in the divorce context, that can be problematic because let's say two people have been married for 30 years and their main asset, let's say that for example the wife was a homemaker, she stayed home, raised the kids, and then let's say that the husband spent his career working at Boeing, and let's say he has this massive 401k. Let's say he has a $1 million 401k, and they're getting divorced. The 401k is a marital asset, and the wife is entitled to half that or some other similar percentage of that. Assume that's their only asset. Well, ordinarily it would be problematic, not in the divorce context, because they can't divide it. If the judge orders that the wife get half of it, the husband then goes and he tries to liquidate half of it. Even if Boeing would allow that, the IRS is going to say, okay, you're pulling out 500,000, you're going to be taxed on 500,000, and you're probably going to pay all these penalties, even if it's permitted, which it probably wouldn't. So the U.S. code, the tax code, and Missouri law allow what's called a qualified domestic relations order, QDRO. In the industry, we just call it Quadro. And this is a really common occurrence in a divorce. This is the exact statute is 26 USC 1056, where it defines a quadro and lays out the requirements for what is considered a quadro. And if two people are going through a divorce, and in this situation, let's say the wife says, okay, well, the judge awarded me 500,000 from this 401k. The lawyers can put together what's called a quadro. Now it's a separate court order, and as long as it meets all these requirements, the judge would sign it, the lawyers would submit it to Boeing, and then the wife would be considered what's called an alternate payee. The husband is considered the plan participant. And then what happens is Boeing says, okay, ma'am, we're going to treat you as an alternate payee. We're going to segregate out and take out 500,000 from this retirement account, and we're going to put it into an account in your name. Now you can roll this over into an IRA. Maybe we can manage it for you, or you can roll it over to an IRA with Ameritrade or Edward Jones, whoever you use. And there's no taxation on this. There are no penalties on this. The husband now has 500,000 in his 401k. The wife now has 500,000 in her IRA. And in fact, if she decides, hey, I want to take a vacation, I want to buy a house, whatever, I want to liquidate some of my 500,000, she would potentially be able to do that. Depending on how old she is and things like that, she could take that money out and maybe not have to pay a penalty, things like that. But she could then liquidate a portion of that. So this is something that's permitted by the United States Code. It's something that allows people to divide assets in a divorce. Very helpful. Question we get is it possible to do this with a pension? Because let's assume in that same example, let's say the husband had accumulated a pension, and so he can't, it's a vested benefit, but he hasn't started drawing those monthly benefits yet. So the answer is yes. And let's say, for example, like at the time of the divorce, he's entitled to a monthly retirement benefit of, let's say, $8,000 per month on the date when he retires. And let's say he's not ready to retire. Let's say he's going to retire 10 years after the divorce. Well, the tax code still allows a quadro in the situation. And the way it would work is if his monthly benefit, vested benefit at that point is 10,000 and the wife receives half of that benefit, then that cuts out 5,000 of the husband's benefit, meaning that whenever the husband retires, wife would then get $5,000 per month is her benefit. She's an alternate payee, but from Boeing's standpoint, it's almost as if she's treated as being an employee herself. She gets a pension. She gets paid every month. She gets that 5,000 every month, and it's usually the checks are usually cut from the same office where the husband's checks are getting cut. The husband's benefit gets cut down, so now he only gets 5,000 a month whenever he retires as well. However, if he continues to work, he'll accumulate a little bit more benefit. Maybe he's up to 6,000, 7,000 by that point, and the wife still gets her 5,000. So the Quadro doesn't work with every type of retirement account. There are certain types of retirement accounts, such as IRAs, Roth IRAs, things like that, where all we need to do is a simple, what's called a letter of instruction. It's very easy. A lot of times people don't even have lawyers do that kind of thing. But if it's a pension, 401k, other similar type of account, you do want to look at doing a qualified domestic relations order.